Good evening, everybody. Um, for those who don't know me or haven't seen my videos before, my name's John Blundell, and I do been doing a monthly video now for 16 months on how my journey with vascular dementia is going, and the pitfalls and shall I say, the problems I have. You know, First of all, again, like I always do, thank everybody for the comments and for all those who have shared it and those people who have got back to me saying that it's been very helpful for them and their loved ones who they care for with, shall we say, dementia. And when I say dementia, all types of dementia, vascular dementia, Alzheimer's, Lewy bodied, and so on and so forth. I always give a progress report. I Yeah, I've been doing okay. Um, I know you'll probably be fed up of hearing this, but my balance is still playing up, and my eye fog seems to have got worse of late. But again, it's just a matter of, I suppose, battling through it, and hopefully it will subside as it always does. But I must admit, I think it was last week. I really, really wasn't feeling like it, and I know I was feeling sorry for myself, to be honest. And I put it on Facebook, and it was basically me moaning about my eyesight, my balance, my brain fog, and it just really got to me, and I could have screamed. And it's unusual for me, but I've just felt like saying to the world, "Look, I'm struggling here." You know what I mean? And I had some wonderful comments off some of my wonderful friends, and it cheered me up and made me continue to carry on the fight. Like, it's unusual for me to feel like that, but as my wife says, it says you're only human, and what you're going through, it's enough to get anybody down. So I suppose, yeah. All right, but I always try to stay as positive as I can. But on another note, I had done a Zoom call with some paramedics. I don't know whether I mentioned this last time on my video. And it was organised by the Alzheimer's Society after I went in their magazine. That if I'd talk about my dementia, how it affects me. And we had some wonderful conversations. I can't remember all of it. But I know each student was asking questions on different things about me, and yeah, you know what I mean. And they all said that it's opened their eyes on dementia. I mean, one apparently he worked for a spell, done some time with in the A&E wards, and he dealt with a few people with dementia. And he says, I never realised that not talking to them, just talking to the carers, as if the person who's got the dementia or has been brought into hospital ill, as if they are there. And he says it's opened his eyes now after talking to me. And I said, look, I says, it doesn't matter how bad somebody's dementia is, always try talking to them. And even if they can't communicate through talking, they might understand what you're saying, or ask the carer if they can understand. But try to talk to them, because they may be a shell of the person they was years ago, but years ago they was just like anybody else who could talk, walk, communicate, laugh, joke. Yeah, it's not their fault that they've got a brain disease that sends them like that. So anybody listening to this, please, please, all I say is always talk to the person who's got dementia, or try to communicate them. And I know he was quite impressed when I says, they haven't got to get into your world. You've got to try and get into their world. And he says, that's changed my views now, and I'm going to try a lot harder. The reason why I went on this, because I think what I'm doing now is integrating dementia with all the services. I know a police officer who told me last year that he went on a dementia awareness course, which I think, not just because I've got it, obviously, but I think all the services should understand a bit more about dementia, and to be able to spot the telltale signs of somebody with dementia. But yeah, I'm trying to think some of the questions they asked me, and I can't remember them. But no, it was about an hour, and oh yeah, them trying to bring it in, and I think it's next week. I think next Wednesday. Yeah, Zoom meeting, and that's with I believe it's trainee nurses, and again, it's for them to try and understand a bit more about dementia. And coming from somebody like me who has got it and who is suffering with it, But I look forward to that. We had some. I know we had some wonderful conversations and some good laughs. You know what I mean? And they all thanked me for being brave, and I say brave enough to go on and talk about it. I don't class that as being brave, really. You know what I mean? I talk about it purely and simply, and I do these videos to make people more aware of people who do suffer with dementia. Same with the radio show and everything else I do. It's just a bang on about dementia, because I've probably said this before, so forgive me if I have. But, in years to come, 1 in 3 people will be touched by dementia. So that means every one of you who watch this video will either have dementia, a loved one, or a very close friend who's got it. Nobody will be able to escape from it unless, God willing, they find a cure, in so many years' time. But we can only pray and hope for that. But yeah, it's getting more and more. And I was talking to Elaine, one of them, at our dementia club on a Tuesday, and she come on the great Billy Spateman radio show, Black Country Extra, with us the last time we did it, and talked about her experiences and the knowledge she had, which a lot of people found very interesting. You know what I mean? From a woman like her who's been in the dementia field for many years, 20 odd or 30 odd years, bless her. And she was saying that as being more and more younger people. Now, when I say younger people, not 59 who I was, or mid 50s, but people in the 30s, people in the 40s, And I said there seems to be a trend coming where more and more younger people are being diagnosed with dementia now. It got me thinking, and we did discuss it at the club. Has it always been there, but it was never picked up properly, as it is today through scans, blood tests, or more obviously vascular dementias through a scan to see the blood flow. Alzheimer's is scanned to see the plaque build-ups on the brain and blah, 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 blah. So has it always been there, or is something happening in the world or in our environment where more and more people are getting it? I'm not a conspiracy theorist, and I certainly haven't got the answer to that, but it just seems strange how more and more and more people are getting dementia, and more young people are getting it. I mean, one of the dementia sites I'm on Facebook, I can't even remember what it's called now, it's Dementia Summit. And somebody come on there who was 36, has been diagnosed with dementia, but said that they had a problem. They knew something was right because they was having a problem with a memory. And I mean, at 30 odd, you can understand it. If you're 60, 70, with old age, our memory starts going downhill a bit, but not at 30 odd. You know what I mean? And I felt so sorry for her, and to be honest, I don't really know what to say. I just says it's a journey you're on, but you could live up until your 70s, 80s. You know what I mean? Who knows? It's just a lot of different factors. And I don't know whether I've said this before, so forgive me, but some people can have dementia, be diagnosed, say, with the same I've got, and in 6 months to a year to 2 years, could be getting a grip of them, where others could have it probably 10, 15 years and still manage to do things on their own. And I hope and pray. I hope and pray I'm one of them. But but I have noticed my brain fog sometimes is getting worse, and does it worry me? I suppose it does, really. Well, it's a yes and no. Yeah, I know I've got this darn thing. I know, God, I know I ain't going to get better, but I know nobody's going to get rid of it unless they had a miraculous cure for it. But, I have noticed, but also, thank God, it don't last. I mean, some days I'll get up and my old sort I can't sit properly and my balance. And sometimes I fall back on the bed and I think, oh, flipping it. And then whether it's because of that and I get a bit more anxious or uptight, excuse me, anxious or uptight, I'm not sure. And whether that affects my brain fog, I don't know. But I've noticed sometimes when I'm having a bad day, it seems to be really bad sometimes. And oh, it's all right. Sorry, that's something in my tooth. It seems to be really bad sometimes, and even Jan notices it from time to time and say, "Yeah, don't look right." Yeah. I say, "Oh, everything's hard." I says, "I can't think what I'm doing." You know what I mean? I shouldn't broadcast this. I roll a fag. I've had it in my hand. I've put it down somewhere, and I'm sat in the flipping house or the kitchen trying to find it. And then I've realised I've shoved it somewhere on the side or the other side of the table, or I put things down, and I think, right, I remember where that is, where I've put that. 10 minutes after, I ain't got a clue where I've put it. Yeah, yeah. It's yeah. Well, sometimes me and Jan laughs about it, but sometimes I do because I think flipping stroll on, you know, and it's having to watch me when I've got my phone or my tobacco, or if we go out to a pub or visit somebody. John, have you forgot something? No, why? Anna's got my phone in her hand and me man bag or whatever you call it. I think, flipping heck, I forgot it again. But, you know, them sort of things, be honest, don't really bother me. It's when I struggle to, what, remember people's names as well. Whoa, but I'll tell you something. Mate, honestly, to me, it was like winning a lottery. Now, no, I shouldn't say it like that. I went to a good friend's funeral and it was very, very sad indeed. He was only 40 odd, but big, massive brain bleed and whatnot, bless him. But I met up with some of the old pals who we used to work with British Steel. And you know something? I recognised every single one of them. Every one of them and the names. And even Jan was going, I said to one of them, Kenny, Rob, good friend, and we had a laugh and a joke. And he says, I think you better take that medallion off your neck. He says, yeah, I got dementia. He says, you know all our names. I think you're only faking it. And I said to him, I says, you know something, Rod? I said, I'll tell you something. Being amongst your lot and knowing each one of you, as soon as I saw you, I said to me, it's like winning lottery. Oh, I felt so happy. You know, it was a sad day and a sad occasion, obviously, and I don't want to take that away from Derek's family because he's a wonderful, wonderful bloke, you know, and I worked with him for many years, God bless him. But I was happy that I could recognise people. You know what I mean? And then I think, well, how come? I mean, one lad I hadn't seen for over 20 years, got to be about 24 years. Soon I turned round and saw him there. I knew him, and I knew where I knew him from straight away. And you know, I said to Jack, I says, how does this happen? I says, is it me or what? And then I may not see somebody for 6 months, and I generally sometimes they got Scooby Doo who they am, but you know. But I did ask this question at the club, because sometimes, at my dementia club rather, sometimes you think, oh, it's just me. Is it just me? Is it the way my brain working, or is it idle, or this and the other? And I have asked other people at the club, and they have said exactly the same. They said some people they can recognise, excuse me, that they haven't seen for years, and somebody who they ain't seen for about 6, 8 months. They got Scooby Doo down. We tried talking about it, but no, not one of us, even the dementia coordinator, like, couldn't come out with a satisfactory answer. Oh, well, it's because of this. Oh, well, it's because of that. All we concluded is it's just one of them things. You know, it does absolutely amaze me the way the brain works. You know, how sometimes you may not recognise somebody, as I says, who you ain't seen for months, and then it may come back like it does with me, come back slowly, and then you recognise somebody straight away who you ain't seen for 20 odd years. But I'm glad in a way that I ain't the only one, you know what I mean? Because my mate boy, he has that problem. He can recognise some people he ain't seen for years, and other people he ain't seen for, say, 6, 8 months. He got Scooby Doo, they am. So I suppose, and the others at my Tuesday club said the same. So I suppose in a way, I don't want to make this sound tinky. I'm glad in a way that it ain't just me. You know what I mean? That they are all the same. But and as I said, we what was that? Jesus, God, I've just forgot what I was saying. Did you hear what I was saying, John? Yeah, sorry, recognising people, yeah. Oh, flipping it. Yeah, I think I need putting down now, I think, you know. Oh, that's horrible when things drift out your head and you just can't think of them. But I know that's happening a bit more as well. But, I have got what I've got. There's naught I can do about it. I certainly don't do it on purpose. As I've said before, who flipping would? Yeah, you know what I mean? God, is there heating on? God, it's warm in here. It's all right. I think Jan must be feeling the cold. I know I've got a thermal vest on. You'll have to excuse me for 1 second. Let me just... Wow. It's all right. Yeah, hang on. God, it's red hot. Sorry about that. I just had to check my hooker. I saw flipping out, my eyes have got worse again. I put my glasses on, that's better. Oh, I forgot that was in my hand. Oh, that's better. I was having a hot granny then, hot flush out or something at her age. Or something like that. Let me start again, because... apart from that, what I've mentioned, my month, with the other problems, ain't been too bad. We've sold our house. I think I did mention that. Got the asking price, and we've put an offer in on a mobile home in Telford, and it's been accepted. So, John, I ain't got a clue. He only showed me the paperwork. I don't even understand it, let alone fill it in. But Jan's, with the help of our Jack, our son, has done it all. So that's gone off. So just waiting to hear, for him to have I think it's the surveyors had to come or something like that. So hopefully that will be soon. And then once that's all sorted, fingers crossed, have a moving date probably. I mean, I know it takes about 3 months, 4 months, but I said probably the end of this month, the end of, what we know, April, probably the end of May or early beginning of June. It might be the end of May, hopefully, but we've been busy packing up and doing this and doing that. I mean, you can't say that's... We've got boxes everywhere, some in the living room, loads in the bedroom, clothes boxed up and everything. So, it's best to do it now than to leave it to the last minute, I suppose. But hopefully we'll be in by the summer, and it'll give us time with the light nights, obviously, and God willing, some sunshine, to hopefully settle in good and proper before, say, the winter comes on. Because the dark nights do affect me, but hopefully, I know we will. I know we'll settle. Obviously it's a big thing because it's a lot smaller, and the garden's really, it's all right for me and Jan. The garden we're going to, what overlooks the woods and that, and with the deers go, I'll be in my limelight. But it's a quarter the size of the garden we got now. But I don't know if I've said it, so forgive me again. It's too big for us to manage, and the house is too big. As I said to Jen, I can still look after myself to a certain degree. Do the washing and drying, although Jen won't let me ever do hair washing because with mine I just bang everything in. Apparently I don't sort out the colours, I just chuck it all in together, so hope for the best. But I can still do that, and still do the housework. It may take me a bit longer than it used to, but... at least I says when we move, I'll probably be able to do it all in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, because of it being a lot smaller. But as my son and our Anne-Marie said, you know, and you're moving in there, you got to think that it's only two here. You haven't got to, like, we're getting rid of our table and got a smaller table. It says everything you do and you have, you've got to do it for the two of you and not think, oh, well, you know, we've got to have it for 4 or 6, which obviously you can't do that in a mobile home. So, yeah, so that's good. So, yeah, looking forward to that. Fingers crossed. I can't see there being a problem because everything's going through smoothly at the moment. So, all being well, yeah. And John and Les should be hearing about their move anytime soon. We thought it'd be this week, so it's either going to be next week or the week after. It can't be no longer than that because I'm all packed up and ready to go. So, and it's a new life, you know what I mean. And I know me and Jan will enjoy. I know for a fact it will be good for us. The only thing is, what upsets me a little, well, quite a bit, is the things I'm having to give up here. Like, well, not totally give up. Obviously, my church is my spiritually centred, Dorfieldson spiritually centred, is a big part of my life and my way of life, and my religion is a big part of my life. And I'm there Fridays, Wednesdays, and Sundays. But Fridays with a coffee in the morning, I've got to have a word with them. Talked about it on the AGM. That obviously I'll probably only be able to get here once a month because you know, there's only Jan can drive, and I can't be bringing me down to Albury once, twice, 3 times a week. It's going to cost you a fortune in fuel as well, but I'll get down as much as I can, you know, and as much as Jan can bring me. And also with me dementia classes, you know, they'll probably have to be 1 month one and 1 month another, because obviously I've got good friends there, and bestie Brian and Lisa, obviously I'll always keep in touch with them. Well, I know we'll soon because they'll be coming up to visit us anyway, you know what I mean, so that ain't a problem. But yeah, it's, you know, I thought about it and thought, well, that's what happens. I mean, yeah, the other side of the world, it's only just over an hour, I think. But you know, obviously things have got to change. You know, so as long as I see the family every so often, and especially the grandkids, you know, and hopefully they'll be able to stay some weekends, either at Rowan or with many sisters, you know, the 2 girls. Be great, but obviously we got to sort all that out, you know what I mean. But yeah, so everything's all right on that front, really. But as I says, I've been having my problems, but I don't feel as down and as low as I did, like, you know. I think it was last week, like I said, with my balance and that, like a sobbing little kid. I put it on Facebook, and then I thought, oh, I should have took that off, really, you know what I mean. And then, well, I meant to, and then I forgot, to be quite honest. But yeah, it is what it is. You know, as Jan says, everybody's entitled to have a moan and a groan and feel sorry for me, like, you know. But as I've said before, those who know me, no, I'm not that type of person. You know, I certainly don't want pity or sorrow, because I've never been like that. Even as a young child, I've never seen the point in all that rubbish. But yeah, I don't think there's actually that much to say, really, no, because as I say, I look forward to talking to the trainee nurses, students, next week. You know, see what questions they're going to ask me. Well, that's right. I know one of them asked me, because he was into his gym, and asked me, like, what sports I'd done, and I was telling him, and he couldn't believe it. I says, "Mate, I used to run 10 miles a night, 10 miles, three nights a week, and I'd get to the gym and do weights for 3/4 an hour or an hour, and cardiovascular exercises. I'd do one on my own, and then go into the class, and then do another class, and then finish off the, you know." I says, "I've done all this, done all that." I says, once I got diagnosed with this, I thought, well, what was all that worth? What was it all for? Watching what I eat, having a bit of a six-pack, having a decent physique. I said, where did he get me? And he says, I could totally understand that, you know. And then somebody did say, when I answered the question, a young lady said, "But did you enjoy it at the time?" I said, "Oh yeah." I says, "I loved it." Says, "Well, then it was a waste of time." But you know, it was right in that way. But you do things to try and stave off things and to keep yourself as fit as you can. And you know, I just think, well, where did all that get me? I'm flipping 16 stone. Well, I was 16 and a half, I think. Now I think I'm a bit less than 16 stone. I think I'm in my 15s now. I think I've lost weight. Jan thinks I'm kidding myself, but I must admit, I suppose I have been scared, scared to go on scales, just in case I'm back to normal. But people who have seen me for a while says, I don't know whether to say it because I've been kind of saying, oh yeah, look like you've lost a bit of weight, John. I was, oh yeah, diabetic and I'm trying to keep healthy. Oh, that's it. Yeah, my diabetes is bang on now. So the tablets are helping, and I'm just hoping that I've got a doctor's review. Well, they call it a dementia review next week, I think, with the surgery down the road from us, and he just talks about, how's your medication, how you feeling, or ask Janet any other noticeable things, or is he getting any softer, or whatever. But yeah, well, I was speaking to my sister because I had a letter from the hospital, and what did he say? I know I've got dry eyes in both my eyes, so I have drops, and to be honest, I keep forgetting to use them. And then when my eyes are really sore, I think I'll use my drops. I should use them about 3 times a day. Excuse me, but and it's something else with my left eye, and something to do with suspecting glaucoma. I thought, what? I thought, flipping it, my mum had that, and she was 3 parts blind. It was classed as partially sighted. So I phoned our sister, and it put my mind at ease, you know what I mean? That people who are diabetic are more, about 40% or something, more prone to getting that. But if it's only suspect, it ain't nothing to worry about, like, you know what I mean? Probably next time it could be all right. So, yeah, I mean, when I say Woody, Jan just said when I read it, just says, well, that's another thing added to your collection of illnesses. You know what I mean? And I thought, you know what? You just get to the stage where you just think, sod it, who cares? You know what I mean? And that's how I felt at first. And then I thought about it and thought, I'll phone our sister up and just mention it. But yeah, Tina put me mind at ease with her, But I've got to be honest though, I've got to a stage, and joking apart, I've got to a stage where I just don't care. Yeah, and that's not like, feeling sorry for myself and all that. You can't do nothing about what comes. I'm trying to be healthy. I don't eat nowhere near the chocolate I was eating. Yeah, I have a few iced coffees and that, and I'm still smoking. But by God, the drink, it don't bother me. I can have a couple of pints and then have nothing for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You know what I mean? So I've conquered that. That don't bother me. But you've got to have some enjoyment. It's like I was talking to one of the Mangans at our church last night, and we was on about it. I said, but I said, John, you can't give everything up. So well, don't get me wrong, I should stop smoking. I know that because it ain't doing my blood flow no good. But I've tried cutting down. But you've got to try and have some enjoyment in life. You know what I mean? Stop drinking, stop smoking, stop this, stop that. And then year later, I guess after, and then you think, well, you're healthy, but people think, well, done him the world of good, all that, stopping everything, and look at him now. So I suppose that's part of me where I just think, what's the point? You know what I mean? Because we don't know what's round the corner, do we? I suppose if I could find out, I don't think I'd want to know neither. But yeah, so yeah, I think that's about it, really. I just thought I'd update everybody, but top and tail, I'm still doing okay. I still know who I am, and I still look in the mirror every morning and just think, I'm still as handsome as you always have been. I do it just so I know I can recognise myself, because some people, sadly, I know when the dementia kicks in, they look in mirrors and they tell the family there's somebody else, another woman following them around, and it's the actual person. Because when they see themselves in the mirror or the reflection, they don't recognise who they are, and that must be terrible. But hopefully that won't happen to me, and I still know who Johnny's, and I know who the kids is, and up to yet I still know my family. But I still do my brain exercises every morning and every night. Picture every single one of them, my brothers, my sister, my in-laws, all the kids, all my nieces, nephews, great nieces, nephews. Sometimes I do struggle with the names if I ain't seen them for a bit, but I can picture the face, and 9 times out of 10, I do get it right. So I'm quite happy about that. It's I know I did mention sometimes I look at our baby and then I think, the kid, flipping hell, what's the names now? And then the last time, I think John mentioned, right, oh, right, but it's only very rarely that happens, you know what I mean? So it's not the end of the world, is it? You know. Right, I've done my 30 minutes, you know. I always try to keep it to that, otherwise you know what I'm like. I'll end up talking about the same flipping thing and forgot that I've mentioned it before. I'm I'm doing that quite a lot. Or say something, and it says 10 minutes after him saying it, or she'll tell me something, and then 10 minutes after I'll say, well, where we get, I've already told you. It don't have a go, we just make a joke. It goes straight out my head. You know what I mean? But got to expect it, I suppose, you know, but keep fighting it. Keep on fighting for as long as I can and keep doing the best I can and keep plugging, you know, that there's life after the end of the dementia. You know, you've just got to be positive and keep fighting. Every day's a fight, you know, because the first time you sit down and woe is me, like I did the other day, and I thought, nah, blow this, I've got to snap myself out of it. But if you get like that and it goes on for days, you will make yourself worse, you know. So for anybody out there, all I say is God bless you all. Keep fighting it for as long as you can. And for all them carers out there, you are truly blessed. Well, truly blessed. You are truly a blessing. And you're more worth your weight in gold in my eyes, you know, because me and my mate boys discussed it, and we both says it's all right for us, really, in a way. It's our loved ones who look after us. It's them who's got to see the decline in you, and then maybe as time goes on, start losing that person who they fell in love with and married, you know what I mean? And then to be a shell of that person that you was, say, 20, 30 years ago. But, you know, I don't think Jan's got any ideas of leaving me, have you, love?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Did you hear that? It just says, yeah. Probably shove me in, probably shove me in and home when we move. I'll probably have my bags packed, and I'll say, well, where are we going? Oh, I'm going to the mobile home. We've got you in and home up the road. But you know, as I said to her, if I got worse or turned into a dirty old man, definitely, because I've said this before, I pride myself on being a gentleman, and I always have done. And if I got like that, oh, they could shoot me. I think I'd shoot myself, to be honest. But yeah, joking apart, doing okay. You know, talk to you again in a month's time. And just thank you all for all the messages you continue to send to me, because that is what keeps me going. And to the people out there who contact me who say it has helped them with their loved ones with dementia, and it makes me feel very happy, because that, again, that's all I do it for, you know, for no recognition whatsoever, but just to be of service and help other people. So thank you, God bless you all, and fingers crossed I'll be back next month. All right then, bye for now, God bless.